What if the winds of change have finally begun to howl through Hollis Hall? Could the Chicago Bears be on the verge of rewriting their destiny, shedding the shackles of past disappointments, and dawning a new era of dominance? In a season thick with expectations, we heard rumors swirling amongst insiders, suggesting that critical roster movements are underway. If you're a true fan, you know change is the heartbeat of our beloved franchise. And right now, that pulse is louder than ever. Hit that like button, subscribe for every pulse-pounding shakeup from the front line, and let's dive into what this could mean for the Bears moving forward. We've got two new names entering the fray that could alter the course of this team defensive. Antonio Paceno and quarterback Trey Flowers have been added to our roster. Yes, you heard that right. With the addition of Paceno, a veteran who's had his share of highs and lows and has connections to our own Ryan Poles, could we be seeing a strategic alignment that's not just about filling gaps, but igniting sparks? And Flowers, with his vast experience and a frame built for the physical demands of the NFL, throws a wrench into the competition for a cornerback position that could flip the script in our favor, especially with Yalen Johnson expected to miss time. These two are not just names on a sheet of paper. They represent hope, strategy, and the kind of grit that Chicago fans live and breathe. Connecting the dots here, both signings may signify more than just short-term fixes or depth charts. They could represent the Bears' whispered intentions to truly build a formidable defense and shake off the ghosts of those heartbreak seasons where our vaunted D once ruled the league. Think about it, how often have we screamed at our screens as our offense sputtered, while the defense kept us in games, just to be let down by missed tackles or lack of pressure? The potential of a revitalized pass rush and a bolstered secondary could be the very elixir for those woes. But this begs the question, will they rise to the occasion, or will history repeat itself? Picture this, Paceno with his size and skill set, pairing with our existing line, exploiting weaknesses in opponents' offensive schemes, all while pushing for that elusive edge we've been missing for far too long. But what if this is just another Band-Aid on a deeper wound? Is he going to give us the clutch performances reminiscent of our legends? Or is he simply a role player in a system starved for a true game changer? And let's not forget about Flowers coming in. As a seasoned vet, he's a beast against the run. However, can he hold his own in a passing league that thrives on speed and finesse? So many angles here make me wonder if the stars align. Will this be the turning point in our 2023 campaign, or is this a risky gamble that could backfire? As we continue to unravel these threads and see how they weave into our roster, I can't help but feel chills running down my spine. Our defenders must step up, and every snap counts in a game where the margins are razor thin. But what if, just what if, these moves catapult us to the top, and we finally claim what is rightfully ours, a fierce defense and a shot at glory? Will this be the year we rise from the ashes, or are we just painting over old scars? These questions hang in the air, and I can sense a storm brewing. Stay tuned, keep your notifications on, because as we gear up for a season packed with potential and uncertainty, you won't want to miss what's coming. The winds are shifting, and what happens next could change everything for the monsters of the Midway. Part 2 is looming just beyond the horizon. Bear down, Chicago Bears fans, because the time for avid hope and hesitant optimism has slipped through our fingers like a fleeting gust off Lake Michigan, and we stand at the edge of a precipice, staring into the abyss of uncertainty that creeps ever closer with every whisper of discontent emanating from Hollis Hall. We've lived through the chaotic symphony of seasons, filled with brilliant plays and heart-wrenching letdowns. Yet we still cling to the dream of that one glorious year when the stars align, when our beloved Bears roar back to supremacy, not just to end the playoff drought, but to reclaim the legacy that once sent chills down the spines of offenses everywhere. Can you imagine this team achieving the kind of monumental turnaround we're aching for? Can you feel it coursing through your veins as strongly as the deep dish pizza flows in our veins? The undeniable weight of decades of waiting, yearning, longing for salvation to emerge from the very same place where hope falters? But now imagine if the rumored inner turmoil within our locker room isn't just a fleeting misstep or a practice faux pas. What if it's symptomatic of something deeper? Something festering, much like the memories of the double doink echoing in our collective psyche. A bitter reminder that sometimes our greatest enemies wear our own colors. The frustration creeping. In like lake wind off Soldier Field in December, chilling to the bone, infecting every hope we dared to nurture. We've got leadership aspirations that rival the ambition of our storied past. Yet what about the discontent brewing beneath the surface? Can you see that? The front office straddling the line between desperation and vision, contemplating trades. And going all in, knowing the Packers are continuously gauging our every move. The Lions and Vikings, sensing our turmoil, are sharpening their claws, poised to take advantage if we crumble under the weight of expectation. And what about our stars? Are they deep in contemplation, looking around at one another, questioning whether this journey is worth the brutal toll it exacts? Remember the steely gaze of Singletary, the unstoppable grit of Ehrlicher, the electrifying brilliance of Hester. Legends who wore their hearts on their sleeves as they built a fortress of relentless determination. We are standing at the crossroads of greatness, my friends, clutching the shattered pieces of 1985, grappling with the ghosts of 2006, and reliving the heart-wrenching anguish of 2010 and 2018. Each scar carved deep, like a winter frost into the fabric of our fandom. What if the choices we make today send us spiraling once again? Is this a fresh start or just another spiral into the abyss? And how do we reconcile that lingering fear with the flicker of hope that ignites every time we hear "bear down" echo through the stadium? It feels like our hearts thump louder than the drumline on game day, wild and erratic, pulsing incessantly as visions of a glorious comeback battle through the darkest corners of our minds, battling against the stark reality that history tends to repeat itself, often in the most cruel of fashions. Yet here we are, tangled in this electric landscape of emotion, where every decline feels like a catastrophic collapse and every win, however fleeting, dances briefly in the sunlight before vanishing behind an all-too-common pattern of heartache. And as I stand here, picturing the ghosts of our past alongside the dreams for our present, I'm left wondering, deep in my heart, will we rise from this chaos and forge an unbreakable bond that leads us to victory, or will we succumb to the echoes of history that haunt us, the final seconds unfolding like a slow-motion nightmare before our very eyes, leaving us asking ourselves if this franchise was destined for greatness or perpetually cursed to chase a dream just beyond our reach? Where does the road lead from here? Will we finally break the cycle, or are we just another beat in a heart-wrenching symphony of heartbreak?